weather.
Beware the fog on your Friday morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies and a high of 75. Lots of clouds and 65 tonight. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, high 77. There is a small chance of an afternoon shower or storm. Unfortunately, there is a better chance of storms on Sunday morning and again Sunday afternoon. In between, it's a high of 76. Labor Day looks dry. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Another day closer to the Dallas Cowboys opener, and reportedly, Michael Parsons and Jerry Jones are no closer to a new deal.
What do you mean?
But there was a Micah sighting at the airport, causing desperate Packer fans and conspiracy honks to assume that he is being dealt to Green Bay. Hilarious. Jera is not trading this dude. He might not be signing this dude, but he is definitely not trading him. It should have never come to this. This is not a Terry McLaurin or Trey Hendrickson situation where the players turn 30 or the franchise is extremely cheap. We're talking about one of the best players in the game in his prime at the end of his rookie deal. Then again, you can see why it's not getting done. Jerry is too busy watching and rewatching that doc that he commissioned to Netflix about himself. Bob Kraft can't believe that you produced, directed, and edited a doc to make yourself look good, Jera.
That's all it.
Allegedly. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Football is back, and so is the action on Prize Picks. With millions of members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
Well, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castro will be in shortly. We are getting you ready for the weekend. Big college football weekend. A little appetizer last night for you that we can get to. Any takeaways from the first real full night of college football? Is it sort of a college football celebration weekend? There are games tonight, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It is just all over the place, and we're here for it. KU plays tonight. K-State plays tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be ready for it. The Royals also begin a pretty critical series at home this weekend, and we'll continue to dive into the Chiefs now less than a week away from their opening game out in Brazil. It's all on tap for you today, and we're excited to bring it to you. So is Wichita Brewing Company. What's on tap? Brought to you by WBC, featuring Yumkin Pumpkin Ale, WBC's most popular seasonal beer that's made with actual pumpkin and served with a spiced rim. Yumkin Pumpkin, now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. Max Power has your phone lines ready at 869-1240. We're watching the video streams on Facebook, YouTube, and X for your comments. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected, and thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app. Tommy, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Happy birthday, by the way, to my buddy Dave Wilson, who does the morning show on, not to you, Dave Wilson does the morning show over on KUIN 103.7. So he's in the studio right next to me. Had to go wish him a happy birthday. So
happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday, Dave. Appreciate that. Good Friday. Yeah, it's a good day. We've got college football. Had college football last night. Nebraska-Cincinnati was the marquee matchup at Arrowhead. A bunch of college football, later this weekend. So I'm excited to get right into it.
Oh, and there was a little trade we got to talk about too.
There was
in the NFL. Yeah, I think so. I'm
did
seeing
something
it up.
happen?
Something happened. We'll get to that as well. Nebraska, boy, I watched Nebraska fans fill Arrowhead Stadium last night and just wonder, like, why has Nebraska in this era of college football not been able to be one of the best teams in the country? Why are Michigan and Ohio State having so much success and Nebraska isn't? It doesn't make any sense to me. You would imagine, have all the resources on the planet to be good. Filled Arrowhead Stadium. It had however many people, 70,000 people drive 3 hours to go fill Arrowhead on a Thursday night in August. What is taking them so long? But they do sneak out of there with a win against Cincinnati. So I thought Cincinnati was going to just shatter their hearts again. Our guy PJ Glasser, we made him, we asked him about that. That wasn't even one of his favorite games, but he got it right. He said, take the points in Cincinnati. And one of his favorite bets, the USF game, man, he nailed that game. They crushed Boise State. And get ready for that kind of madness this weekend, by the way. Yeah, Boise State was ranked. They lost Genty. Like, all these teams are going to be so different than they were a year ago. It feels like a total crapshoot to me.
Yeah, and isn't that the number one reason why, as far as like preseason polling, like it just doesn't matter anymore for the most part, honestly, because we just don't know a lot about these teams when they lose so much and they're bringing in a bunch of new players and players are leaving. Like, it's just a total dart throw for the most part. I mean, maybe you can look at the top 5 or maybe even top 10 teams and have a decent idea about them. But after that, it's all wild and up in the air. And I think Boise State, that was a prime example of that last night. That, I think that based on their success a year ago and getting into the CFP and all of that, I think, the pollsters felt like they needed to be somewhere in the top 25. So they barely squeaked their way in. They're not a top 25 team, obviously, after the game last night against USF.
I think that they get it right sometimes. Iowa State and Kansas State feels like they probably got it right. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know anything about these teams. And we'll find out probably over the first 3 or 4. And it's going to take, we're not going to learn anything about KU and they play Wagner. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help us much either. So it's going to take a little time to sort that stuff out. But I thought it was a pretty entertaining night of college football. And I'll be perfectly honest. I am not, there's college football on in any capacity, I must watch it all the time. That's not me with college football. I will watch KU and K-State every time they play. I will watch the Big 12 as sort of the rest, and then I'll try to catch the marquee games. That's kind of it for me. So, like, in normal circumstances, I'm not spending a second with Nebraska, Cincinnati. I'm not watching Wisconsin wondering what's taking their offense so long to get going. But it was kind of like
Jeff Grimes. That's what it is.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that. But it's that opening night. It kind of had a nice feel to it. I'll watch them every time they're on the field with the NFL. Like, I'll watch every NFL game. But it was good to get college football back, and I thought it was a pretty good, like, after the kind of fake opening salvo of the week 0, which meant something to us this year, of course, because K-State and KU both played, and K-State played one of the biggest games of the year. We're gonna get it. It was nice to get it back. It was nice to have that many games, and I do like this. Do they normally do this? I don't feel like they do, and maybe it doesn't time out, where we get a bunch of games on Thursday, we get a bunch of games on a Friday, there's games into Sunday. Like, I like this through the Labor Day weekend thing, and I feel like it's kind of new. Have we had this in the past? Where we get 4 days of college football like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think this isn't like a brand new thing. I can't tell you how many years it's gone back, but the fact that it's the final weekend without the NFL, it's college football dominating it. And with Labor Day weekend and all of that, you've got games lined up. I remember in previous years there being a Sunday night primetime college football game on Labor Day weekend. I remember there being a couple of games on Labor Day, which I know that's happening again, this year with North Carolina and TCU on Monday. So yeah, I think it might be fairly new, but I don't think it's brand new.
Maybe it just hadn't had the bigger kind of games on that Thursday. I don't know. Either way, it was nice to see. One way or the other, I was glad to have it. Okay, let's get you set up. We got to talk about this Micah Parsons trade when we come back, because once we get into the second hour, we're picking.
Hey, do you mean Michael Parsons or Micah
Parsons trade, which makes it. I mean, there's so much. There's just so much good stuff here. As we go out, Jeremy Avery vying for a college golf scholarship awarded to the state championship winner while caring for his autistic brother, but his rival is doing anything to win. Now he must choose between realizing his dreams or standing by his brother. The short game, it's in theaters today, and it is your last chance to win a pair of tickets. Go to kfhradio.com, click on the contest tab, and go to the short game contest if you'd like to enter to win a pair of tickets for tomorrow. The movie premieres today. The winners will be selected tomorrow. I think you can probably use the tickets a little more flexible, but we'll pick some winners. KFHradio.com, contest tab. The short game contest is where you can go to get that. We will also give away some Swing 365 golf today. We'll give away some HTO today, so make sure you're locked in and tuning in for your opportunities to win those. We will get you ready for the Royals weekend as well. We got a jam-packed show. We're going to talk a little Ryder Cup today, too. When is the Ryder Cup? When does that start?
A couple weeks from now. I think it's like late September. So we've got a little bit of time, but they just named the Ryder Cup team. Keegan Bradley's the captain. So a lot of intrigue about if the U.S. can get it done.
Our guy, Eric Johnson, going to come in. Our golf guy is going to come in and help us look ahead to the Ryder Cup. So we'll have all that for you today. When we come back, though, Michael is traded to the Packers. We'll have that next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
we investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
Sports Talk on KFH presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus, which of course comes to you for 12 News, KWCH, where you can find us right now on 12 News Connected. Appreciate that from them. Tommy, we come back in, and the big trade yesterday finally happens. Dallas moves Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks, 26 and 27. And Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer, signing a new deal for $47 million a year, setting the market now for defensive players, all players, not quarterbacks, and even more than most quarterbacks in the league. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer, and the thing that has seemed inevitable in some ways, but some people thought might be crazy because Parsons is on a trajectory unlike many players ever have been in his young career, is now gone. Dallas moves him out. And it's funny, I've had people like checking in on me as a Cowboys fan. I'm like, guys, this is what I wanted to happen all along. I didn't even think they'd be able to get a return like this. A Pro Bowler and 2 firsts? Yes, this is exactly what Dallas needed to do. It's a great trade for Dallas. I mean, Micah Parsons is awesome, and I am genuinely sad to see him go. This was a situational thing, though. The Cowboys were not going to win a Super Bowl paying Micah Parsons $47 million a year. As great as he is, wasn't going to happen. Probably isn't going to happen anyway, but it definitely wasn't going to happen with $150 million going to 3 players when they're just not deep enough to withstand that. So as a Cowboys fan, I'm pumped for this. I know there's a lot of upset people, and I know Micah Parsons may be in the Hall of Fame staring at Jerry Jones one day. But, man, it wasn't going to work. It was the right business decision.
Yeah, I mean, you were the first person I thought of when the trade happened yesterday. I texted you right away because I figured you were thrilled about it because you've been pretty clear and pretty steadfast in your belief that this is what the Cowboys needed to do. was to try to get a return and try to move on from Micah Parsons. And, I think that I've seen people draw parallels between this and the Mavericks trading Luka Doncic, but it's two totally different situations. Like it's apples and oranges. And look, I understand the star power of those two guys and how Dallas has just been, they've walked away from the biggest stars that their respective teams have seen in one calendar year is wild. But it's different entirely because if you look at the return that the Mavs got for Doncic, and then you look at the return that the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons, the Parsons trade is significantly better for the Cowboys than the Doncic trade, I think, is for the Mavericks. So they're not the same whatsoever.
They're not the same.
They're not the same. I understand the parallels.
Shopped Parsons around. Like Nico Harrison would have traded him, to the Eagles for a sixth without fielding offers from anybody else. Like that's the equivalent to that trade. No, they shopped him. They got 2 firsts and a Pro Bowler. But the big thing for me is they saved $47 million. And it's not like a knock on Parsons. I've told you this for months. As soon as this situation, really as soon as TJ Watt was going to get paid, I'm like, well, the Steelers aren't going to do anything paying TJ Watt $45 million a year. Like the edge rusher, to me, is not the position that warrants it. Quarterback certainly does. Micah Parsons is now like the 10th highest paid player in football. That's ahead of lots of quarterbacks. He'll make more money than Patrick Mahomes on an annual basis. He'll make more money than Matthew Stafford on an annual basis. He'll make more money than Jamar Chase, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray. It's just that it's not. Now, let me also say before we get further into this, I do think the Packers are the kind of team to try it, right? They are close enough where you are adding one of the best players in football. And I don't know if their odds went from 20-1 to 14-1. Their odds to win to the division jumped pretty significantly. Like, this is an impactful move for them, for sure. And I think they're the right kind of team to do it. And I do think they have a roster built to maybe be able to withstand paying this this position that much money. But the Cowboys don't. I mean, they flat don't. They do not. They're not in the position to do that. They need way too much if they really want to win a Super Bowl. So I genuinely think it was a great trade for both sides. The Packers are going to lose 2 firsts, but those are going to be late round firsts, most likely. And so for them, okay, we can withstand. It's sort of like what the Rams did when they pushed all their chips in with, the famous F them picks quote from Les Snead. Like, that's kind of what this feels like. But it's not to get a quarterback. It's to get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I'd like it on the record also that I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl yesterday morning before this trade even happened. I'd like to think that pick is more validated today than it was at the time yesterday. I certainly think that it is pushing their chips in, and the window is right now. It's not that they've got a bunch of old players. They don't. But the fact that they're not going to have firsts in the next couple of seasons, a lot of times, even if it's a late round first, look at a guy like Josh Simmons, by the way, for the Chiefs. Like, even a late round first can be majorly impactful for a team, even one of them, and they're giving up 2. And so at that point, who knows what 3 years down the line will look like for the Packers, 4 years down the line, that sort of thing. So the window is now. The window is right now for them. They signaled that for sure with the acquisition of Micah Parsons. And I do think that they are a team that they were a major impact defensive player away from having a really nice shot at being a legitimate Super Bowl contender. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is that it's an arms race in the NFC North. That division is absolutely brutal. And we've gone through it before. You've got the Lions coming off of a number 1 seed in the NFC last year. You've got the Bears that they've loaded up, and they love what they've got in Caleb Williams, and they've got weapons all around him and built an offense to have him cook. You've got the Vikings with a ton of great skill players. The jury is still out on J.J. McCarthy. We just don't know until we actually see it, but they were a great team without him a season ago with Sam Darnold leading the charge. So it's a brutal division, and the Packers, they needed to keep pace, and there's no better way to keep pace than by going and acquiring possibly the most impactful defensive player in the NFL.
Well, and look, they're paying, right? They're already paying Jordan Love. Jordan Love's the second highest paid quarterback and second highest paid player in football. But they're not really paying anybody else. Like the Cowboys are also paying CeeDee Lamb, right? And so this will hurt them after this year. We don't know yet how the contract is structured. So like none of the sites that track the cap have Parsons' true impact yet, because we don't know what years the money is going to. But it's going to be difficult. And I think what you have to also consider, the Packers have a lot of good young players. They're going to lose some of those players to free agency. There are two other trades to think about, I think, when you think about this. Well, the first one for us is the Tyreek Hill trade. So not only did the Chiefs land players, Trent McDuffie and Rashee Rice, most namely, in that trade for Tyreek Hill, they saved all that money, which has allowed them to re-sign Chris Jones. It's allowed them to re-sign Creed Humphrey. It's allowed them to re-sign Trey Smith. It's allowed them now to re-sign George Karlaftis, make all kinds of moves in free agency, bring Hollywood Brown in. If they had paid Tyreek Hill what he ultimately got paid by the Dolphins, they wouldn't have McDuffie. They wouldn't have Rice. They probably wouldn't have at least Trey Smith. Who knows if they could have figured out how to do Chris Jones, who was already complicated anyway. The implications of that trade are far more than who they got with the draft picks. It's who they were able to re-sign with the money. And that is what I've said about Dallas forever. The money is the problem. They're not good enough to massage around it. They must be able to help Dak in every way they possibly can. Most notably right now will be to build up and pay an incredible offensive line, and at some point a run game. That's going to be their path. It flat is. And so paying Parsons so much of your cap, it just never made sense to me for that team.
You may completely disagree with this. I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat for a second and play conspiracy theorist for a sec.
Okay.
I think so. The Cowboys are, over the next 2 years, the Cowboys have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I would be shocked if one of those picks, and it might be next year, it might be the year after, I don't know, but one of those 4 picks, I would be shocked if a pick is not a quarterback at some point. Maybe it's 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it'd be next year, but maybe it's one of the first rounders 2 years from now. Some of that's going to be, dependent on the quarterback classes and that sort of thing if they like somebody. But at the end of the day, I think this also cracks open the door for potentially what a post-Dak Cowboy era could look like. Now, maybe I'm giving Jerry Jones too much credit to be that strategic a couple of years down the line at his age and the way that he operates. I don't know that, but I would be really surprised if one of those 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years doesn't end up being a quarterback.
The problem for Jerry is, and I'm not to be morbid, he wants this badly before he dies. And so I think that is what has hindered this. Dak takes too much grief. Dak is a better quarterback than he gets credit for. I will say that. He'll be by the time that they're using those picks, he will be 34 years old with 1 year left on his contract and a potential out if they want to take some dead cap. So that would be the time to do it. Yes. And I think if the right player is there, they can also, like, if they identify a player that they love, like the Chiefs did with Mahomes, that's what you hope they do with it, right? You go identify that player and you make your move and you push all your chips in that way. I don't know that that's what Jerry Jones is going to do, because the better path to short-term success is to use all those picks and use all that money to bolster up now. There's a couple problems with that. The Cowboys, while they've been a great drafting team over the last decade or so, have not been as good the last couple of years. So as a Cowboys fan, you hope that's not a trend. And the other thing is, they may be the worst free agency team in football. They're terrible at it. They don't ever sign anybody. They pick the wrong players. So you're also trusting that they use this money correctly, that they're going to save, which that's another big reach. So
and on top of that, there's a major body of work as well over the years of even when they have drafted well to bolster up their chances right away, they might win a bunch of games in the regular season, but they can never get it done in the postseason. And so there's no, clearly there's no guarantee that even if, Jerry wants to bolster up the team with these first round picks over the next 2 years, that he's going to draft the right players to not just win regular season games, but to get them over the hump of the playoffs, because that hasn't happened.
And look, the Herschel Walker trade, I'm sure that, the newspaper headlines were the same. They're crazy, and that built a dynasty. So they have to get it right in the aftermath, and Jimmy Johnson ain't there to help anymore. But the other trade that keeps coming up is the Khalil Mack trade. And everyone's like, oh, well, how did that work out for the Raiders? And I'm like, how did it work out for the Bears? You can't put on rose-colored glasses. Like, that trade was a disaster for the Bears. And it didn't work out for the Raiders either, because they didn't do anything with what they got in return. It doesn't make it a good or bad trade. Like, it's a comparable trade when you want to talk about like what was acquired in anything. Again, like, I'm looking at stuff this morning. Micah Parsons, like, there are analytics numbers that say he's been the best pass rusher over a 4-season span, like, ever. And that's out there. Like, he is. I believe he's on a trajectory only Reggie White could claim. Like, we're talking about a transcendent time player, and I get that. There are a couple of mistakes that the Cowboys made. A, giving Dak a new contract, and B, not getting this Parsons deal done and not being able to see enough ahead to do it a year or two ago when maybe they could have got him for $38 million or, whatever it was. That's their own fault. They screwed too many things up.
They screwed that up. They probably, they could have we talked about it before. They could have re-signed Micah for, I don't know, $8 to $10 million less per year annually.
Probably
had they gotten ahead of it and not let other players reset the market over and over and over again, had they been a little bit more proactive in this, we would not be in this situation right now.
Myles Garrett was the first one to reset it, and then it got reset like 3 other times at 40. So even if they could have gotten it done for him to reset it at 38, we're talking about almost a $10 million a year difference. So it's like a sequence of events that took it to this point, and at this point, paying him $47 million for 4 years just did not make any sense for the Cowboys. I do think it makes more sense for the Packers. Time will tell, because their roster will be depleted greatly soon because of this trade, both in the draft capital and the fact that they won't be able to re-sign a lot of players because they're paying Jordan Love and Micah Parsons so much money. When you have 2 of the highest paid players in football, the second now and the 10th, it's going to be tough. It is. And we'll see how that goes. Austin asks, in my opinion, is it time for Jerry to step down, or do I like what he's done? Well, A, he's not going to step down. So I honestly, I don't even waste my energy with that question. And I know a lot of Cowboys fans, Jerry Jones isn't going to step down. So it doesn't matter. Do I like what he's done? I think there are worse owners for sure, but he hasn't gotten it done. So in that circumstance, I would say no. But at the same time, the Cowboys are relevant every year. So I'd rather be a Cowboys fan than a Browns fan or a Jaguars fan or lots of other teams in the NFL. I've always had a hard time with that question, because generally speaking, the Cowboys are always in the conversation, not just like by the drama either, Micah, but because they're usually 8 to 10 wins. And I say this all the time. Like, I'll take the relevancy over. What's a good example of a team that is this doesn't really happen in the NFL, where you get like a flash in the pan, like a 1-year champion, and then they're just irrelevant after that. But I would rather have the relevancy than like one great year and then be terrible every other year. That's just my opinion. I know everybody doesn't agree with that, but so whatever. But he's not going to step down. I mean, it's his team.
I don't know if there's anything more frustrating than, if you're a Cowboys fan, getting so close to the top of the mountain every single year and never having enough to get it done. I mean, you go back 30 years, and every year for 30 years, like there have been a couple of anomalies in that time in the 3 decades since they last won a championship where they've been flat out bad. But that doesn't happen very often. You'd have to go back and look season by season to really break that down. But the majority of the time, they're in the conversation. They're in the mix. They are postseason teams. There's, expectations and all of this. I don't know. It's a really difficult conversation. And I come from it as not a Cowboys fan at all. I can't even imagine getting so close to the promised land every single time, it seems like, and then it just never being able to get accomplished. It's both a credit to the Jones family for what they've built, where the relevancy is basically there from year in to year out. But it's also a knock on them that they've never been able to put the entire puzzle together to get it done in the last 30 years. And I think what this does, I mean, while this is, I think, ultimately good for the Cowboys to be able to get all this value back, you've kicked the can down the road. You're not winning the Super Bowl this year, next year.
With Micah Parsons, they weren't. No,
you're definitely not now. You're definitely not now.
It's they had one year that I can remember, the Romo year, where they lost to like the Giants in the first round of the year. That was the only year I felt like this could be the year. Every other year, it's like they ain't gonna do anything in the playoffs anyway. All right, we'll come back. We'll hit some other headlines when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in, everybody. It is a Friday, which means we've got some of the best gear from 35 by 70 Golf Co. on display. I am wearing right now the knee-high men's polo, which you can get your hands on by going to 35by70golfco.com. I suppose, Tommy, it's the time of year where I need to get in on some of the outerwear, the long sleeve stuff, the warm weather gear, because it's a little chilly out there. So this is one of the great polos they have, though, 35by70golfco.com. If you want 10% off, just enter the code JACOB at checkout to get a little deal there at 35by70golfco.com, the local company that is growing like crazy and providing some really, really cool golf gear from right here in our area. Love it.
I love that you called it outerwear, by the way. You're really embracing this fashion influencer role that you have now.
When you are a fashion influencer, you have to you have to learn the lingo. I don't know what I'd call it, a long sleeve.
Yeah, like a quarter zip or a hoodie.
I just call it a long sleeve.
Long sleeve.
Yeah, my kids. Speaking of, it's one of my favorite terms that I hope they never grow out of. Is my son will say they'll ask me every morning. They're like, "What's the weather? Is it short sleeve or long sleeve?" And so my son, and he either wears short sleeve pants or long sleeve pants.
Okay.
So shorts are short sleeve pants. Which man, I hope that never stops.
I get that. I get that. That there's a rationale in there that I understand.
So they'll say like long sleeve, or short sleeve, or like that's how we determine. Like they're like, "What's the weather like today?" So they know what to wear weather-wise. But 35by70golfco.com, into the promo code Jacob at checkout for 10% off. We appreciate their support here on Sports Daily. Welcome you back in here. Get our baseball talk in as we make our way through. Damage done yesterday, even though the Royals are off. The Yankees and the Red Sox both win. That means they are now essentially 6.5 and 6 games behind them, 8.5 games behind Detroit. I think we can take all of that and we can put it to the side. Right now, this is a race against the Mariners, and they play the Mariners 3 times heads up before the end of this season. And they play Detroit. Look, if they did something special like sweep Detroit this weekend and get it to with 5.5 games, okay. I guess we'll start paying attention back to the division at that point. But I think the reality is it's going to be a race to the 3rd spot between Seattle and Kansas City. That's certainly what it looks like here.
Yeah, it goes back to the analogy I've used several times about when you're playing poker and maybe you've got you've got a flush that you're working on or something like that, and it's the number of outs you have when you get the turn and the flop and all of that. Like you have to really take a look at how many different paths do you have for a playoff berth. And it had been up until the last few days. Potentially, you had maybe all 3 wildcard spots that you were still battling for. That's probably not on the table right now. To your point, it's the Mariners. It's that 3rd wild card spot. You pretty much have one path to success, barring either an epic collapse from the Yankees and or Red Sox, and I guess maybe Tigers, and just a wild winning streak by the Royals. But those things are rare and probably unlikely to happen. I don't think we're gonna see New York fall apart like they did when Aaron Judge was on the shelf, all of that. Like, I think they're going to round into form and continue to do what they've been doing. Same thing with the Red Sox. So really the outs are limited now. I think for the Royals to find their way to the playoffs, it's not out of the woods, not out of the question, but especially considering they're going to be playing Seattle straight up, not too long from now. It's going to be a lot more difficult for them.
And the reality is, and the cliches I don't think have ever fit more than they fit for Kansas City right now, which is, I mean, who cares about any of that other stuff? The reality is they got to win a ton of games down the stretch to have a chance anyway. So just focus on winning a ton of games. Just do that for now and see how this falls. Get all of the wins that you can, and if it's enough, it's enough. If it's not, it's not. Detroit, the series lines up this weekend. It'll be Lugo going tonight, Noah Cameron on Saturday, and Michael Wacha on Sunday. Wacha gets the great task of facing Tarek Skubal. So the pitching, I think, lines up the way you want it to, even with Lugo being a little bit shaky. I think the things for Quatraro that we talked about with Lorenzen also hold true right now with Seth Lugo. You just had a day off. You're going to have Monday off, Tommy. So 2 days off. There is absolutely no reason right now for the Royals to not have everybody available if there are any signs of trouble early tonight from Seth Lugo. If he is in a spot where he clearly does not have it, and it is the first damn inning, I don't care. You got to get him out, protect him a little bit. You've just had a day off and you got another one coming in 3 days. Like, unload the bullpen if you have to today.
Yeah, this may be a glass half empty kind of thought with the way the weekend series is panning out for the Royals, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Lugo has not been sharp since the All-Star break. He was better in his last start, but still not incredible. So he's not been sharp. Noah Cameron did not have a good start his last time out. He's come back down to earth a little bit. He's your Saturday starter. And then Michael Wacha is facing Tarek Skubal on Sunday. So we've looked at series before and pitching matchups and all of that, where you can sort of have a blueprint for a road to winning a series or potentially sweeping another team or whatever. When you're taking on the first place team in your division, I know it's at home and everything. I don't love the pitching prospects this weekend in honestly any game. And hopefully I'm proven wrong. Hopefully Lugo and Cameron can turn things around and Wacha can hold his own against Tarek Skubal. It's going to be a major challenge all 3 games this weekend.
I think you thought I was a little bit crazy a couple of weeks ago when I told you the thing I think that worries me the most down the stretch for the Royals is the starting pitching. Are you with me a little bit now? Do you see what I'm kind of meaning there? Like, I don't trust Lorenzen. I don't trust Lugo. Noah Cameron. I trust Noah Cameron, but it is still, he's overperforming from anybody's expectations. Like, there are a lot of things where it's like, and Bergert, as good as he's been as a rookie, like, it's just like all of it feels a little shaky to me. As great as they've been all year, we're to the point of the season now where they may run out of gas. And it may be the thing, which is so ironic, that it's the thing that saved them for most of the season while the offense sputtered. And now that the offense is hitting, the starting pitching to me seems very, very vulnerable. But I agree. Seth Lugo, since that trade, his ERA has raised. I mean, since that signing, his ERA has risen about a run and a half. Here's how many runs he's given up in all those games, Tommy. And I don't remember the exact date of the trade, but I'm going to take you back to July 18th, which I believe was around the time right after he got the deal. 5-2, 3-2, 7-6, 2-6. That's how many earned runs he's allowed in that time. He's given up at least 2 home runs in all but 2 of those games. And so we're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10, 9 starts. He's given up 2 home runs in 7 of those 9 starts. Like, it's not just a little concerning with Lugo. Something's not right, clearly, because we have a long track record now of Seth Lugo to know, like, he's never had a stretch like this before. Something isn't right with Seth Lugo. And if that's the case, don't let him against this team go out there and get shelled for 6 runs in 4 innings. If there are any signs of trouble with him, pull him out of the game. You have a completely rested pitching staff with a day off coming. Like, empty it all out in this series if you have to.
Yeah, it's not going to be. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't think that any game this weekend against the Tigers needs to be a game where, whether we're talking Matt Quatraro or the starting pitchers themselves, where their pride and ego gets in the way, where it's like, well, we have to have this starter go 5 innings or 6 innings or whatever. It's no, treat this like a playoff series. Treat this like a best of 3 playoff series where you have to, at home, and that's the benefit. You get all 3 of them at home. You have to have a short enough leash where at any sign of trouble, and I'm not even just talking about the Lugo start, I'm talking about Cameron's start. He wasn't very good his last time out. The Waka start against Tarek Skubal, you're not probably going to get a whole lot of run support on Sunday. You've got to make sure that you are putting your team at least within striking distance to be able to be competitive. One good note about the Royals is that in the last 2 games against the White Sox, and really even I think dating back to probably the All-Star break and maybe even the beginning of July, the Royals have been a lot more clutch offensively. So if they're within striking distance of the Tigers, and if you can stay in the game, even if you're down a run, down 2 runs, whatever, the Royals offensively lately have shown that they can prop up the pitching. They can get themselves back into a ball game. But the only way you can have that happen is if you've got a short enough leash to be able to stop the bleeding if it does happen. I don't care if it's in the 2nd inning, the 4th inning, the 6th inning. You have to be more aggressive. And I'm looking at Matt Quatraro on this. You have to be more aggressive in going to your bullpen. Do not sit on your hands and hang on to your starter like you did in the game when Michael Lorenzen started the other night. You cannot afford that.
Well, no, not against this. Really not against anybody down the stretch. I don't think they have one of these brutal after Monday, they go to a stretch where they'll play September 2nd through the they don't have a lot of days off there until the 22nd. Is that right? 20 straight days without a day off? Holy moly. This series is just this is probably the only one where they get this luxury, I guess is the point. So take advantage. It's the Tigers. They're going to be tougher to come back on. There's absolutely no reason to get yourself down in a hole like that if you don't have to. And look, Lugo did have his start against the Rangers was great. 6 1/3, 2 earned runs like that. That's great. Maybe that's in there too. You don't have to like panic, but I think we've all watched these Lugo starts and been like, yeah, he doesn't have it tonight. Like, it's been pretty obvious right out of the gates. Like, he is throwing batting practice right now. And if you see that, the second you see it, you got to get him out of there. You just have to. And the offense is going to have to help you out. The Tigers probably won't be quite as prolific playing at Kauffman Stadium, but we'll find out. You'll hear the game tonight right here on KFH. You can tune in at 7 for the 7:10 first pitch. You can also listen at kfhradio.com or download it for free on the Odyssey app. Hey, if you want to win some iced tea, do it right now. 2 gallons for $10 this weekend, by the way, through the holiday is always a great deal when you can get them 2 for $10. So go in there, grab you a couple gallons for whatever the Labor Day festivities bring your way. And while you're in there, maybe you can get a free tea if you win right now by texting the keyword tea to 20357. That's TEA to 20357. Good for East Wichita, West Wichita, or in Derby. When we come back, our golf guy, Eric Johnson, going to talk a little Ryder Cup with us here. To be perfectly honest, Tommy and Eric are going to have more to say about that, and I'll just, my ignorance will probably shine through. But I like it. I like the Ryder Cup. Don't really get it, but I love it because it's USA versus somebody else, and I'm always on board with that. Wait it next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-10-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's hour number 2 of Sports Daily on this Friday morning. Tommy Kester, Jacob Albrock, Max Power producing the program. A lot to get to in our second hour of the program. We'll be joined by the whole crew for our Friday football picks. In our next segment, we'll go through the entire slate of the college football calendar, and we'll make those picks. We've got some big lines to get to, not just locally, but also some of the top games in the country. We'll do that a little bit later on this hour. Also give you more headlines and talk more about Micah Parsons and all the different things going on around the NFL. That's all What's on Tap. What's on Tap is brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Yumkin Pumpkin Ale, WBC's most popular seasonal beer that's made with actual pumpkin and served with a spiced rim. Yumkin Pumpkin now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. Let's talk a little golf to kick off our second hour. Our golf expert, our golf insider, our buddy Eric Johnson from Swing 365 Golf here in Wichita, joining us on the program. Happy Friday, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you. That's a lot of accolades for something I'm not sure is right.
Eric. I'm not sure we can hear you, Eric. I think you can hear us. There we go. How we doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Glad you could.
The Cowboys fan, it's been a better day, but.
Yeah, it has been with Micah Parsons getting moved to Green Bay, but we're glad to have you here on the show. Good to talk some golf here this morning. I want to talk Ryder Cup with you. That's why we wanted to bring you in. Of course, we've got the entire U.S. team all set. Captain Keegan Bradley making his captain's picks and all of that. I want to start because I know you've been around the game of golf for a long time. You've coached, you have captained, you've led teams, things like that. And the big storyline has been, obviously, Keegan Bradley did not pick himself to play in the Ryder Cup, and he was in a position to do that. I'd love to know from your perspective what that means for the Ryder Cup team, for the other players on that team, to know that Keegan Bradley is not going to play and just going to captain the team.
Well, I mean, Keegan's a USA guy through and through. So it doesn't, I mean, when he stated that, I was picked to be a captain, I'm going to be a captain. So, I mean, from a leadership standpoint, I think it shows those guys that, hey, I got you. I feel like everybody I picked is going to contribute. You don't need me. I'm just going to stand out here and get this New York crowd riled up.
How different is team golf compared to individual golf? I know, obviously, you, like I said a minute ago, you've coached, for a while, but then you've also competed as an individual yourself. So when you've got a Ryder Cup type setting and it's, obviously nationalities like USA versus Europe, all of that, you've got the patriotism that comes in. How different is team golf in your experience compared to individual golf?
I mean, the guys you pair up, I mean, you think you're picking them right. You think, this guy matches up against this guy really well, but, it really boils down to individually, that person's got to show up and play good golf. I don't know how many times you've seen 45 seed beat a 1 seed, whether it's in the USAM or the double match play. It doesn't matter. I mean, anything can happen. You got to remember, those guys, from the 12th guy to the first guy, the shot per round difference is so minimal that they're all pretty even. I mean, yeah, we get it. Rory and Scotty are different to some degree, but for the most part, you got 22 guys that are a shot apart on an average round. So it just depends on who's going to show up, who can handle the nerves, who can hit it. It's a whole different atmosphere, especially as you get later and all of a sudden your teammates are standing around the green going, I lost, you need to win, So it can build.
How different is that environment for a Ryder Cup? I mean, obviously when you watch it on TV and, you've got the rowdy fans and all of that are, they're cheering USA, they're chanting USA, they're booing the international team, like all of that. What is that environment and that atmosphere like?
I went to Whistling Straits the first day, and I mean, every shot you got the goosebumps. I mean, that's how intense it was. 1 second you're just standing there, and then all of a sudden Jim Furyk and Steve Stricker standing there watching you putt or watching you hit from the middle of the fairway. It's like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Then the next thing, Michael Jordan's standing on the tee box watching you. So, I mean, it gets intense. There's a lot of pressure to it.
I just want to ask real quick, Eric. We know Gary Woodland, Kansas native, is a vice captain, the final vice captain. He's not going to play, but what will his role be? What does a vice captain do here?
Kind of a gopher. He's out on the course. Keegan can't be in every group. The first day, I think there'll be 4 groups out. So, that's not bad. But he'll be out there talking to the guys, reporting back to Keegan. If he needs Keegan to come give some guy a pep talk, he'll radio Keegan and say, get over here to number 5 and get Sam Burns cheered up.
It's crazy because going back to Keegan Bradley for a second as the captain, just the way the last couple of years have panned out for him, where he wasn't selected on Zach Johnson's team,
right?
Even though he had a case to be selected on Zach Johnson's Ryder Cup team, he didn't. I would argue that a massive reason as to why he was selected to be the captain this year was because he was not selected to be on the team 2 years ago. Now he's playing well enough to play in the Ryder Cup as well, but he's not going to because he's the captain. It's a wild journey, a wild path for a guy, as you mentioned, Eric, that just like bleeds red, white, and blue. He's been, that kind of that emotional guy, one of them at least. Like you can think of Patrick Reed as one of those guys as well, that really embodies the American squad. But you've got guys on this roster, obviously Scotty Scheffler has been the best golfer on the planet, for basically this entire season. And even before that, he's on the team. You've got, a bunch of other guys that can contribute in a large way. I know that the Americans have been snake bitten recently. We're a little bit under a month away. If you had to give a prediction right now, is this going to be a good result, do you think, for the Americans?
I think it's going to be closer than you think.
Okay.
I mean, the European guys that roster is stacked.
Yeah.
We've got the best 12 guys, I think. I thought there was maybe one, but they're all so close and they were playing so hot coming down the stretch that I thought one interesting fact that people were upset Jordan Spieth didn't get picked. Well, the biggest news Jordan Spieth made all year was that he got it out of his medical from having wrist surgery. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be close. I'm not going to. Hopefully, I want the U.S. to win, but I think it's going to be close. And Keegan being a Northeast guy, it's going to be on fire up there. Those New York people are going to be gassed up.
All right, Eric, I want everybody to take a look, if you're watching the video stream right now, at where Eric is. So Eric is inside Swing 365 right now, and I want you to envision Sunday afternoon watching some football, or a Saturday afternoon watching some football, and just taking some hacks back there behind him on that simulator. It's a private facility, Swing 365. There are memberships, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just sign up for your time. You go in, everybody will leave you alone. You can bring your own food and drinks in there. You can do whatever you want in there and hit some golf balls at the same time. And we have an opportunity for you to check it out for a week for free right now by texting the keyword SWING to 20357. Swing to 20357 gets you an opportunity for a week there to see why this is such a cool idea, Eric. I got to tell you, it's been pretty cool being able to go in there for me, just like watch baseball game. I can't even comprehend 2 screens of football and the simulator.
God. Yeah, we're actually we've got some specials going. You can see it all on our social media, but we're actually it's eligible to rent the space for a game. So we're going to do that. It's going to be a 4 hours rental, unlimited guests. You can watch them on the TVs, or you can put it on the screen back here. So we're going to do that. We've got some specials on the website. It's all at 365wichita.golf is where it's at. But anything, we'll probably have some open houses coming up now that the weather's kind of turned, so people can stop by. So I know I came in and cleaned up after the guys the other night watching baseball. There's a lot of beverage and pizza boxes in the trash cans.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me and Tommy.
There was no H2O in here. I know that.
That's right. No H2O cups. No, there was nothing in there. It wasn't us. I'm telling you, and as the weather changes and the courses are going to slow down a little bit, it's something to check out. So win that opportunity right now. Swing 20357. Go to swing365golf.com/Wichita and see what Eric's talking about. Check him out on social media and go USA in the dang Ryder Cup. Let's go.
Yeah, we got 3 weeks. We'll get back to it. Something will happen between now and then. Somebody will gas somebody up.
Why not? Why not get fired up for USA versus, well, Europe, I guess, but the world? I mean, let's
send Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Jake.
It's the right move. It's the right move. As much as it's going to suck watching him just annihilate quarterbacks for the next 4 years, it's the right move for the Cowboys.
Right.
All right, Eric, we appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
There goes Eric Johnson. You got to check out Swing 365. I'm telling you.
You did a fantasy football draft there.
I did a fantasy football draft there, and it was perfect. I'll tell you what we did, Tommy. We have no time here, but we hooked in like where the group was back in Texas. I took like an HDMI cord and put it in so they were on the screen with us. We had the K-State Iowa State game on behind us, and we're at the driving range on the simulator in between picks. It was awesome with some wings and some beers. It was great. Swing 365. Check it out. All right, we'll come back. We're going to make some football picks next. How about it when we return?
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports bettors, ready for some picks destined to fail? Time to hear what the Sports Daily staff thinks of the weekend games.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is picks here on Sports Daily. We've got Brandon Zinner in. I'm seeing TJ with notifications silenced here this morning, so we'll see if he's awake. That's never a good sign. We've got Paul Savage in, who is also doubling over as our scribe. Mr. Savage, how was the damage last week on some wacky? We're gonna do some wacky picks again this week, but how was it last week?
Well, I didn't figure it. Do you have the figures with you?
I don't have the figures. No, did you?
I've got them at the house. Okay.
Right.
I do not know. I did
That's a great start.
Paul's responsibility.
I didn't know I was responsible for
I know I got the Bears preseason win over the Chiefs. The cover, I think, is
well, I think most of us did. Most of us did.
I did not. No, I did not. Yeah. I picked the Chiefs to cover that. I know I missed that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. I did not realize that I was like the official scorer now. I didn't know. So
Paul,
it's okay. I've got the sheet.
Okay, you got it at home. We'll tally it up after this week. You've got it. Right. You've got them. You'll write them down.
I can tell you right now that I missed the K-State game, I missed the KU game, and I missed the
overs
Chiefs
unders.
game.
I can't believe you remember.
I don't know about overs unders, but I know at least the spread on all 3 of those games. I'm pretty sure I missed.
Well, a lot of us did.
Yeah,
we're getting a little more normal this week here with picks. So we've got 6 games to pick here this week, and we will get you to it. Max, let's hit it. Let's jump right in. I don't know who won last week, so we'll just have our defending champion Paul Savage go first again this week.
That's fine.
And Paul will start in the college game. We do have one NFL game to pick this week, but we'll start in the college ranks with the first marquee matchup of the day: Texas and Ohio State. Ohio State is a 1.5-point home favorite. Paul, where are you going with this one?
Well, listen, this is an interesting pick because, first of all, where is Texas with regards to Arch Manning? I mean, I look at the kid and when he's supposed to be starting like as a freshman out of high school. I mean,
another NFL guy there in front of him, Quinn Ewers.
I get it, but I don't know what's going on with Arch Manning. I mean, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to give the kid credit. He stood his ground and he says, I'm not going anywhere. I want to be at Texas. This is where I want to be. I'll put my dues in. I'll do what I got to do. I'll just go. I'll go ahead and collect my $8 million a season. It's okay. $8 million will get me, it'll get me through until I get the reins of this football team. And now he has them. But listen, we all know that we don't know anything about some of these teams until we see them play. I mean, I thought K-State was going to be better than they looked. I thought Boise State was going to be better than they were. There's been a lot of that. I thought Nebraska was going to be better than they showed last night.
They won the game, Paul. They won the game.
They won the game, but I thought it would, with a returning quarterback, a solid roster, not a lot of problems with portal kids leaving and all that. I just thought Nebraska was set to do better than they look. Now, maybe Cincinnati's better than they are, but I don't know. I don't know with Texas and Ohio State where these two teams are. I'm going to say that going to the Horseshoe is going to be tough. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's going to be a tough place to play. I'm going to take Ohio State and give the 1.5 because I have questions about Texas's quarterback until I see him play. I'm taking Ohio State.
Tommy, this is a tough one. PJ Glasser, who nailed yesterday's games, liked Ohio State in this one. Do you agree?
Well, I think that there's a good possibility that after tomorrow's game, the entire country knows who Julian Sayin is as the starting quarterback for Ohio State. I don't think many people are, they know him very well. They know much about him, but he could bust onto the stage in a big way tomorrow. That being said, until we know that for sure, I'm not comfortable taking Ohio State right now until we know what we have in this kid. So I'm going to take Texas. I think that Texas, especially as underdogs, I'll probably actually take them on the money line, but I like them plus 1.5.
Nerd alert. TJ just woke up and has the glasses on still.
You guys sure this doesn't start at 8:30? I'm pretty sure it starts at 8:30.
No, it's just been 8:15 for about 5 years now. That's all. We're still in our first game here. So Texas, Ohio State minus 1.5. What do you have?
I'll take Ohio State. I like Julian Sayin. College game day, all the things going on in Columbus. And Texas always finds a way to mess up being one of the best teams in the country. So started off hot. They're going to fall out of number 1 after 1 week.
It's Brandon. I don't, going to that venue in the first game of the year, that seems insurmountable. Do Arch and the Longhorns have it in them?
Everything that Paul said is exactly why I am taking the Texas Longhorns. I have just as much questions about Julian Sayin. Chip Kelly also leaves Ohio State in the offseason. They lose their offensive line coach. Now they do have the best offensive and defensive players in the country, Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. But C.J. Baxter, that is a guy at Texas, the running back that we might hear his name called in the first round next year, maybe the best running back in the entire country. I trust him and Arch Manning a lot with Steve Sarkisian. Give me the Longhorns on the road.
I will tell you this as I go last here. I like Texas more than Ohio State for sure this year. Arch Manning, what's he done? Well, he's had opportunities. He only completed about 70% of his passes through 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions last year and ran it for about 4.5 yards a carry for 4 more touchdowns. Granted, it was a lot of mop-up duty, and I get that. But not all. He played Mississippi State. And he's played a little football. He's played more than the Ohio State quarterback. So let's go. I can't root for Ohio State in this game. I can't do that. Let's go Texas. Take the 1.5, win it by a point, and give me the Longhorns. Here we go. All right, the next marquee game of the day, LSU at Clemson. Tommy, you can start us here. PJ Glasser liked LSU in this game, getting the 3.5 points. Two teams that we do have a couple of quarterbacks everybody likes in this game. What do you like?
I think I like the points as well in this game. I don't have an extremely solid read either way necessarily. So give me the points. Give me LSU if I'm going to get points on that. I know that both teams obviously have lost some pretty primetime players, and I know Clemson still has Cade Klubnik and all of that. He's got that experience, but I think just because LSU is getting the points, I'll go ahead and take them and take the points.
All right, TJ, you agree?
I just watched that SEC documentary, the Any Given Saturday or whatever, and basically the biggest takeaway you can take from that is that Brian Kelly always finds a way to kind of screw up something in the early season at LSU. Talking to Dylan Domingue, our resident Louisianian, whatever that word is, in the newsroom, loves LSU and always complains, and he says he's just not looking forward to this game because it's going to be some weird LSU stuff. So I like Cade Klubnik. I'd probably pick Clemson anyway, so give me Clemson.
All right. That takes us to Brandon. So we got one LSU, one Clemson. No Islands are going to be available in this game.
Clemson is my preseason national champion pick. Cade Klubnik, Antonio Williams. He might be the second best wide receiver outside of Jeremiah Smith. I like them to be able to get it done at home.
All right. That's me. I'll take LSU and I'll take the points. The offense seems like it's going to be really good this year. I don't know what to make of Clemson, but they'll always be good. LSU will always be good. So give me the Tigers in those points, Paul.
Money's my big deciding factor on this, and right now Clemson's dumping a ton of money into their football program. They're going to be good for the years to come because they are throwing that cash around and they are getting the right kind of kids that will come and play great football. Some of the best talent in the United States is heading towards Clemson. I'm taking Clemson because that big money's starting to pay off Clemson, maybe by more than a touchdown.
I think Paul likes Clemson there because they were like the last team in the country to pick up somebody out of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily the only reason.
I think he also likes Clemson because Dabo's on record saying he hates NIL.
Exactly.
So that's probably a major reason why Paul likes.
Paul should be on the staff.
But he's sure playing with it, though, isn't it? He may hate it.
Plus, on Friday nights, we get to see Paul Savage run out on the field like Dabo for the Wichita
there
East
you
Blue
go.
Aces.
Absolutely.
All right, LSU at Clemson. Notre Dame at Miami. All these true road games to start. It's wild. Notre Dame's going on the road to Miami. It's the old Catholics versus convicts reimagined. 2.5-point home dogs, TJ. Miami is against Notre Dame. What do you like?
That is tough being a true road game in week one, but I really like Notre Dame. I think Miami, just losing what they lost last year in Campbell Ward, they were really, really good a year ago, and I think that they're going to be riding the coattails a little bit. Obviously they bring in Carson Beck, but I don't know who believes in Carson Beck that much. I like Notre Dame a lot. I like Marcus Freeman. Give me Notre Dame. brandon?
Yeah, Carson Beck hasn't really done a whole lot this entire offseason. He's had the elbow issue.
Lost his Lamborghini.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum around Notre Dame. I think Marcus Freeman might be the best coach in the country. Jeremiah Love might be the Heisman winner at the end of the year. Give me Notre Dame.
Look, I love this rivalry. It's one of my favorite rivalries all time in its glory days. I'll take Notre Dame because I'm with you guys. I just trust them a little bit more. Miami's always feeling love early in the season. Notre Dame's been backing up the preseason love. 2.5 on the road's a tough line. It's tough to give those points, but I'm going to do it. I'll take Notre Dame. Paul?
That's interesting. You know something? I think I smell an island coming on, and Miami might not be a bad place to have an island. Might not be. Now, listen, I honestly think under normal circumstances, if I didn't have this island staring me in the face, I think I would take Notre Dame along with you guys. But I'm looking at Tommy. I'm trying to read him, trying to read his face, but it's very stoic. He's not giving me the signs. I think he's going to take Notre Dame too. I think this might be a good place to try an island. You're giving me 2.5 at Miami. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Miami.
All right, Tommy, you going to give him that island?
I am going to give him that island.
I knew it.
This is my favorite bet of the entire weekend. In fact, if the line was 6.5, I would still take Notre Dame and lay those points on the road. The reason for that is because Mario Cristobal has been absolutely terrible with his teams against ranked opponents. His teams are 1-12 straight up against ranked teams. His teams just flat out don't win against ranked opponents. And I think Notre Dame is so much more proven. And I know we're talking against the spread here, that he's 6-7 against the spread in his career against ranked teams. So still not a very good record, still under 500. I'm going to lay those points. I think Notre Dame is more proven. We don't know how Carson Beck will be able to run the system in Miami. There's so much more confidence that I have in Notre Dame, even on the road, even laying those points. Give me the Fighting Irish.
All right, let's start in the college games we care the most about with the one tonight. Wagner at KU. 45.5 points you got to lay here with Wagner and KU. I get the lucky draw of going first here. These lines are so outrageous. Here's what I'll tell you. Last week, KU showed us with the big lead. They were willing to back it off a little bit and kind of ride that lead into the sunset. For no other reason, I will take Wagner plus 45.5 because KU may jump out to another big lead and Just ride it off into the sunset. Give me the Seahawks. I'll take the 45.5 points. What do you think about that, Paul?
Well, I'm trying to figure what state is Wagner in, by the way?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Staten Island. Come on, Paul.
They're New York City's football team.
Oh, it's in New York City. Well, I didn't even know
Are there
that.
any Seahawks in New York City?
That's a good question. I'm not aware of any, but there could be. Now, listen, the 45 points is absolutely scary, but the fact that we don't even know where Wagner is tells you something. How many, and my question I'm asking myself right now, how many defensive touchdowns does KU score? I think they probably score 1, maybe 2 on picks or, name your way. But I'm just thinking there's going to be some special teams touchdowns. There's going to be, let's say, 2 to 3 touchdowns with special teams or on defense. And with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and take KU. I think I'm going to go ahead. I know this sounds crazy. That's too many points, isn't it? That's too many points. But I think KU covers because they're going to have 2 or 3 touchdowns on other than just offensive series. So I'm going to go ahead and take KU.
Tommy, it costs $50,000 a semester or a year to go to Wagner. They got to be good at something. Are they good at football? Good enough to cover 45.5 here?
Yeah, I don't have any clue. I don't know anything about Wagner, but I will tell you this. Lance Leipold at Kansas is 1-3 against the spread when they play FCS teams. He's only covered the spread 1 time in his tenure at Kansas when they played FCS teams. And it's not because they're not beating these teams. They're just not beating them by the margins that, I think the bettors are, the sports books are putting out for them. Outside of a cover in 2022 against Tennessee Tech, they have not covered the spread against Missouri State, against South Dakota, and against Lindenwood in 2023. So knowing that and knowing the fact that they kind of went on cruise control in the second half last week against Fresno State, I got to take the points. I'm taking the points here. It's far too many points. Give me Wagner. I'll take those points.
Wagner's not as good as any of those schools, I don't think, that you just listed off. Notable alumni, Andrew Bailey, who's pitcher in the big leagues, and Gerard Malanga, who I don't know who that is, but I'm told by the internet he's a notable alumni here. TJ, what do you like? You going Wagner here? You going the Seahawks in this one?
First of all, Tommy, do you remember that Lindenwood game? I was in Kansas City for that one. It was like 55.5 point spread, and they only didn't cover because Lindenwood kicked a field goal as time expired, basically, to blow the cover.
I remember that one. I also remember the South Dakota game where they only won 17-14. That was an anomaly.
Anyways, give me KU. I think that they might cover this in the first half. I can't imagine Wagner is worth any damn at football. I think it's going to be 50-0 at halftime.
Yeah, I watched Missouri last night, and it made me think, boy, KU could really probably do that to Wagner, Brandon. You taking the Hawks or you taking the 45.5 points?
Well, I'm taking the Hawks. It's just the Jayhawks of Kansas. They just spend more on their football team than Wagner. I don't trust Wagner to be able to go on the road at all. So, yeah, go ahead and give me KU. And I'll also cash the over on the amount of segments we're going to have to do to be able to get all these picks. And we're
all right.
No,
we got 2 more. We're good. We've got 2 minutes and 2 picks. Here we go. K-State, 27-point favorites against North Dakota. Brandon, you're up first.
No confidence in Kansas State, but I'm gonna take them. I'll probably lose it, but
Paul.
Something I have no confidence either. This is a team that has not met my expectations. It's a team that has had lots of distractions this week in particular. Listen, I think North Dakota, sometimes these Dakota schools, they can sneak up on you. I'm going to go ahead and take North Dakota. I think they're going to cover.
Tommy?
North Dakota and the points.
Give me the points as well. They'll win by 26. TJ, you got a K-State.
Paul, I think you're thinking of North Dakota State. This is not them. Give me K-State.
All right, one more NFL football, Cowboys, Eagles. We got no time. I'll go first. Give me the Cowboys, baby. No Micah Parsons, no problem. I'm taking the 7. Brandon?
The Cowboys are not paying anybody. Give me the Eagles.
TJ?
Eagles.
Tommy?
Eagles for sure. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Paul?
To Eagles as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll walk it off with the Cowboys. Not just that, they're going to win on the money line. Let's go. That's picks, everybody. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. You know, this is normally going to be the time, and we're excited to get some high school football talk on the show. We'll keep TJ around. Paul's coaching again with the Aces, and we'll chat high school football. It's a new high school football segment we've got coming for you starting next week. Correct, Tommy?
Yeah, that's right.
That all gets going next week. There's going to be a scoreboard show this year on KFH, so it'll be a lot of fun as we do that. But that all starts next week. This week, fellas, we got college football. Like it's go time. KU, K-State. I don't know that we need to be in any, fear of anything wacky happening. We had some fun with point spreads and how outrageous they are for this game. But we'll start with KU, Tommy, who plays tonight. Honestly, I don't even know what I want to see tonight. I don't really care about much other than KU stays healthy, gets through the game, gets the reps, maybe a little more time watching Jalen Daniels work with these wide receivers. And I suppose I would want to see the defense flex again. I wouldn't want to see them show any chinks. Like, whether they're ultimately good or not when they start playing good teams, I certainly want them to look dominant today.
It's a big reason why I'm taking the points in our picks in the last segment, because I think there's a pretty good likelihood that we don't see Jalen Daniels for a lot of the second half. I think we'll see Cole Ballard. I think we'll see Isaiah Marshall. I think we'll see the backup QBs and the backup offense in general, probably at some point in the third quarter. There's really no reason, especially if the Jayhawks jump out to a really good start, that we see them late into the game. I have a feeling it will follow the same kind of blueprint that we saw a week ago when KU played Fresno State. The reason for that is because they've got a massive rivalry matchup next week against Missouri. So you're right on when you say staying healthy and getting through this particular game. You don't want to put your players in a position to where you're risking them for next week's game on the road in Columbia taking on Missouri. So I think that's obviously a big reason why I'm taking the points in this game, because I think we'll see the Jayhawks get out to a big lead early and then probably take their foot off the gas in the second half and start bringing in the second and third stringers.
Paul, what we saw exactly what we wanted to in the first game for KU. So what is it that you want to see now in this second game?
Well, whatever I want to see, I won't see. I can tell you that right now, because you're going to see, you may not see, for instance, you may not see Jalen up until maybe the second series of the third quarter. You're not going to see very much of him. You're not going to see much zone read keep stuff. He's not going to run the football. They're not going to take much of a chance with Jalen. And so I'm kind of thinking to myself, this is just a really good opportunity to get a lot of kids a lot of playing time. Some kids that maybe won't see the field hardly anymore after this game. So this is a chance to do some things for those kids. You're not going to see – KU is not going to unveil anything like a new front, like a new coverage, like some new routes, some new play. You're not going to see any of that. And rightfully so. They don't need to do that, and they won't do that. And keep your quarterback healthy. Don't play him much. Don't run him hardly at all. Let your backs do the work. And that's what you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see much of anything in terms of KU football other than coming out, grinding it out, running the clock, getting the game over. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be kind of a boring football game more than likely, unless you're just a diehard KU guy like Tommy Castor.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it is.
Fine.
It's fine. It's just it's kind of another exhibition game, or at least it better be.
Right.
K-State's a little different. North Dakota is going to be better than Wagner. I think we have some more questions we need to see get answered by K-State after the Ireland game. We need to see what this offense can look like without Dylan Edwards again. More time to prepare for that, I would suspect, means a better outcome. Certainly playing against a team like North Dakota instead of Iowa State would indicate to you a better outcome. Tommy, do we need to see the offense flex pretty hard here to make us feel good again?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we would love to see that, right? Like, there would be nothing better than for the Wildcats to come back from Ireland after the disappointing trip and just absolutely curb stomp North Dakota. Like that'd be fun, but I don't think the Wildcats need to do that. I don't think they have to do that, and I don't think they will do that. I think that this is more of a come down period for them after the disappointing trip where they can sort of get their bearings, get themselves collected. They're not going to have Dylan Edwards. I think they need to right that ship a little bit, and I think that they're going to be fairly cautious and conservative in that approach. Because remember, as we talked about a lot of this week, the path for the Wildcats is the Big 12 conference race. That's it. So this game this week doesn't really matter for them. The game against Army doesn't really matter for them. Even Arizona, which is not a conference game this year, doesn't really matter for them. So as much as I think collectively as a fan base, people would love to see them dominate in a game tonight to feel better about the team, I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
Paul, do you have any less confidence in K-State as an overall outlook on this as you did before the Ireland game?
Yes, I have less than I did before. And part of the reason is, but I've got to also, couch that statement with regards to the travel. We saw the clips of Coach making comments about, well, they traveled all night. They were on a plane all night long. We let them sleep a bunch on Friday. I know their sleep schedules, everything was really thrown into havoc with regards to travel and whatever it took. I get that, but Iowa State was probably in a similar boat. I really do not know that this K-State is the K-State that we all thought they might be going into this season. So we'll see. I guess I'm still skeptical. I saw a team that I thought should have been better than Iowa State. I'm going to give Iowa State a lot of credit. They're very good, but I sure thought K-State would show more than they showed us last week. So. I'm a skeptic at this point, a little skeptical. Let's see what happens. We'll know a little bit more after Saturday, but not a lot more. But yeah, I don't know this K-State team is the team that we all think it's going to be. We'll just have to see.
See, and this is what gets weird about scheduling a game against Iowa State overseas to start the year. K-State was, played a much better second half. Like all of these things, like they could have easily, played some garbage team. No offense to any of those teams, but you know what I'm saying? Like they could have easily done that and we'd be riding high. Like I don't want to penalize them too much for going and playing that game overseas in those circumstances and doing all the things that we did. Like, did you watch last night's Nebraska game and now are down on Nebraska? The K-State and Iowa State took the boldest steps on how to open a season a week ago. I don't want to let that cloud an overall look. I'm more worried about the Dylan Edwards injury than I'm worried about the overall outlook for K-State because they lost to Iowa State in that game. That was always a possibility. It was, what was it, a 3-point spread? Like Iowa State's good. We knew, Iowa State's always good. So I don't want to overthink it here. Like I still think they're going to be good. I would still, assuming Dylan Edwards is back by the start of conference play, be very comfortable picking them to win this league. Like, I don't think any of that's changed because they went overseas and lost a weird bad weather game in Ireland.
Yeah, and I don't want to suggest that the reason why I'm a little bit more down on them is because they lost the game. It's a combination of the Dylan Edwards injury and the way that the Wildcats played with Dylan Edwards not on the field.
Right.
And it's not just on Edwards, but it's the fact that, like Joe Jackson wasn't as effective as Dylan Edwards probably would have been had he been able to play in that game. It was, I think, collectively the penalties that the Wildcats had and the turnovers, the mistakes. And I get it. It's early in the season. And you're right when you say that there are a lot of teams that play cupcake games to get themselves back into game form. There's no preseason in college football. You are right out of the gate taking on competition. So that's why a lot of teams schedule opponents that they can sort of have a, kind of a de facto preseason game against where they can get themselves back into game form with 1 or 2 non-conference games. So I understand all of that, but the way in which they performed on Saturday, when they were in the game, they were competing, but they shot themselves in the foot. Those are things that absolutely have to be cleaned up moving forward, or they will have no shot to win the Big 12. They will have no shot to make it into the CFP. It's already going to be a difficult path for them. But that's why I think I'm maybe the most concerned, is just because of the mistakes that we saw them make in Ireland over the weekend.
And we have just glossed over a little bit about the disappointment that I had in watching K-State's defense. There were a few glitches on this defense that need to be fixed. And I'm just telling you right now, they are not as good defensively right now as, or I should say, maybe with this group. And I'm not sure how to play this out. It's only been one game, but they've got a couple things on defense. They got to get sorted out a little bit.
They've got to stop fourth down. I mean, that was the key factor.
Well,
they could not stop Iowa State on fourth down.
Yeah, and the run there are some glitches right now on that front that have to be fixed. You go into Big 12 play, you got to stop the run on occasion. So I'm just
now in the Big 12. Yeah, the Big 12 runs the ball. It's not your it's not your your dad's Big 12. They can run it. Okay, at least we got a good pass rush there, it would appear. That did look strong. I do so like I guess the point of all this for me is like for KU, there's not really any outcome here that's likely that's going to change anything for me. Like like nothing's other than absolute disappointment. Like nothing's going to happen where I'm like, oh man, can you believe they waxed Wagner? For K-State though, I do think we need to see them look good just to sort of settle things down a little bit, get a good, efficient Avery Johnson game, be able to run the ball a little bit and smother them defensively. I do think that has some value. And so I think there's a little bit more pressure on them to perform at a high level this weekend. That being said, a lot of us, 4 touchdowns is a lot. That's what that line, which is where we picked that. But, if they win this game by 3 scores or so, or if they're just totally comfortable and have it in hand at any point, that's going to go a long way, I think, to reassuring K-State fans that everything's okay. Real quick, Paul, we've already hit on this. What'd you think of the Micah Parsons trade?
Well, I thought it was coming because of the money situation with Jerry. So
I want you to, you're in the seat. Are you taking the first round picks, the defensive tackle, a 3-time Pro Bowler and $47 million, or are you taking Micah Parsons?
I think I'm going to go ahead and take the picks. And here's why. Part of the reason was that, if I'm not mistaken, Tommy, wasn't that the biggest non-quarterback contract in the history of the NFL?
Yep.
A lot of money for one guy. Lots of money for one guy. A lot of money for who knows what, where you get to that point. But is Parsons a great player? Yeah, he's a great player. Sure, he's a great player. But I like the picks. And for Jerry, he's not having to shell out, what was it, $187 million? Is that sound right? Somewhere in that area?
188
somewhere. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just telling you, I figured it. I mean, I didn't think he was going to come back. Jerry, I think last week I said the money part of this whole thing is going to be on Jerry Jones's mind.
This might be a cop out, I think, in general, but like I've seen a lot of people, some are mad at Jerry and the Cowboys, some are mad at the Packers. I think it's good for both sides. Like I'm happy with both the Cowboys and the Packers for getting it done. It makes sense for both sides.
Yeah, I think the Packers. I don't agree with you that they were Super Bowl caliber before the trade. I know you put them there. I think this certainly gets them closer. And it's kind of a 1-ish year proposition, maybe 2. So they're going for it. And I don't have any problem with that. The Cowboys, I'd love for them to be able to go for it, but they're not good enough. So then what are you doing here? So I agree. I agree completely. I think both teams did a nice job here. All right. We got a little more Sports Daily for you coming your way. Don't go away. We'll be right back.